and breakfast and dusting and all that. So, you know, coming
Beautiful.
back from vacation is just great. So I don't know how everybody does it. Do they do laundry right away? Because that's like my thing. Even yesterday, we did 2 loads of laundry as soon as I came home, and I'm like unpacking, throwing it in. And my parents came to see us, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, I have to get the laundry done." They're like, "But you're gonna have like 8 loads." I'm
First
like,
thing.
"I know."
Well, after a long vacation, it's normal to do that. And welcome home.
Thank
Uh,
you.
we are finally on the same
Time zone.
time zone, and we are finally at our regular noon Sunday um, live, talking about the
Yes.
law of attraction. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for watching us and supporting us and encouraging us. Much gratitude to each and every one of you. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. It's good to be home, isn't it?
It sure is. It's like you can't wait to go on vacation, but then when you come home and it's just like, ah,
I missed
we're
it.
home. I missed it. Didn't realize that I missed going home. Hi, you okay, love? Sorry. Sorry, that was my daughter just coming to say bye. She is going to her
Rehearsal.
marching band meeting. So,
Nice, beautiful.
yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, so let's get started.
Yes.
Um, you want to lead the little relaxation that we usually start
Sure.
with?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Shoulder rolls are a must after sitting on the flight for 8 or so hours.
Yeah.
So, neck rolls, shoulder rolls. Deep breathing in and out. All right, let's close our eyes and just take some deep breaths in. Ready? Inhale and exhale. Let's inhale again. And let's try to take that breath and just run it through our whole body and see where it kind of stops. Or does it just continuously go through your whole body? And is it just running through? Just be mindful of it. Is it just running through or it's stopping at a certain spot in your body? If it's stopping at certain spot in your body, just take note of it and breathe out. Let's take a deep breath in again. And let's run that breath again from our head to toe and see where it goes, where it lands. Just let it be. Just become an observer of that breath. And breathe out. One more time. Breathe in. And let's run it again. Where is it taking you? Where is it taking you? Just be an observer. And breathe out slowly. You may open your eyes slowly, and we're going to breathe in again. And again, we're going to run it through our whole body with our eyes open. And breathe out. Thank you so much. I don't know if you guys did it just, something to think about or becoming more aware of it. Did it stop at certain point or did it just run smoothly? Just being an observer, being a third person, kind of removing yourself and just sitting back and seeing it. That's it. Just being aware. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Very refreshing.
Thank you.
Nice. It's a nice exercise to ground yourself,
Yeah.
to be aware, to increase the awareness. And it's always a very good exercise to do um, anywhere, anytime, right?
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. I say you do it 3 times and it kind of just grounds yourself, right? Just brings all that awareness and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm able to focus. I'm able to leave everything else behind and let's do this kind of thing. So, yes, absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for participating.
Thank you. Thank you, Uma. So let's get going. We are talking about law of attraction, and I put manifesting and manifestation. I don't know. Is there a difference between? I think there is a difference, isn't it?
Well, there has to be one, right? I mean, intentionally, you're doing something, anything. You're putting your intentions into it. But then unintentionally, you're doing something. But again, the action is required in both of them. So there's somewhat correlation, but if you bring awareness to it, then
It becomes
you're
intentional.
not. Yeah,
It is. So it's a fine line between intentional and unintentional. Intentional, um, I think, involves the willpower, the focus, the awareness, as you said, the um, everything done according to a plan or according to a mindset, according to something that we before we thought about it, we plan it, um, we visualize the outcome, and that's an intentional manifesting. When we say intentional manifesting, and a lot of times we are talking about and we talk about in our lives about intentional manifesting. How can you apply law of attraction by manifesting with intention? All the visualization and affirmation and vision board and uh, you know practicing relaxation and meditation. It is part of an intentional manifesting, and we have that intent to fulfill something, to reach a goal, to reach a destination. On the other hand, we don't talk too much about unintentional because we don't control it, right? It's something that is just happens. We think that it happens. And let me tell you a story. Last week, I had to change the suspension on my car, and it has been years and years, probably I don't know 8 years or so, since nobody touched those nuts and bolts and whatever. Then a friend of mine, he is very savvy in car service and repairing and everything. And he looked and he said, "Oh, it's gonna take forever for us to because it's everything is rusty, and we will have to use the flex. We will have to use to cut some of the things." And I was uh, at that moment, I thought, why would you think that? You didn't put a wrench to see if it's really stuck or rusty or um, hard to unscrew or to take it apart. You are manifesting, and I told him, why would you think that? Just let's go into and we'll
Yeah,
see
yeah.
if it's really. But that was, and at that point I realized that he's manifesting that unintentional. He does that without any intention and without thinking that whatever thoughts you put through the universe, they come true. And sure enough, it took us all day. It was very hard, and we cut some of the parts that we couldn't you couldn't take them apart. And I was so amazed that here, what if you would start with, oh, it's easy, it will take 1 hour, 2 hours, and we will get it into, even though it seems like apparently it's rusty, and and this unintentional, we are not aware. But I think, in my humble opinion, during the day to day in our lives, we manifest much more unintentionally than intentionally. Don't you agree?
100%, 100%, because what you give your energy to, it's going to expand. So that's why becoming aware of your own thoughts and then giving energy to those required thoughts, the thoughts that needs that kind of energy, it makes a huge difference just by being aware. Because that's why, all these gurus, all everybody's okay, you have to be aware, you have to be aware. But again, there's nothing to be scared about, because again, negative thoughts do not have that kind of power, that kind of
Power.
energy, as much as the positivity has. Because when we are positive, we're happy. It brings us that joy from, and the universe works with the energy, the law of energy. So keeping that in mind, it's so it's like, okay, I'm going to be aware, I'm going to focus on the energy that is good, the thoughts that makes me happy, thoughts that I want them to expand, I want them to become either reality, or they are reality and I want them to work on it more. So
That's true. Hello,
there's,
Corina. Sure, you are welcome to join us and
yes,
share your thoughts about our lovely topic today, which is law of
yes,
attraction and manifesting. It's a intentional life about unintentional manifesting,
yes,
and it is it's true. The positive energy that we put in our thoughts and we send to the universe, it's much powerful, and because it's complete, you put
right,
your feelings, your emotions, your senses, all your five senses into that thought, and it goes directly to the universe and attracts whatever you want to fulfill. um, However, the unintentional, even though unintentional can have positive and negative thoughts, but it's so often we don't think it comes from it can come from our subconscious mind, from our memory, from our habits. When we
yes,
drive, we always say we go to or from work to home, and we don't know how did we get there, which how
yeah,
many lanes did we change, what kind of streets, and we are um, unintentionally doing an activity that is it's so um, familiar with us. It's in our blood, in our um, routine, that we are not really aware of it. And yet that doesn't mean that it doesn't go out there to the universe, because all these thoughts, regardless if they are intentional thoughts or unintentional, you surprise sometime yourself thinking negatively about something or somebody. um, Although it comes and goes, and you can control that, and you say welcome, but I don't need you. You can go now. I need something, much joyful to think about. And yet, that moment that that thought is dwelling in our mind, it does manifest in an unintentional way. And a lot of times we don't see the result of it, or we don't not that we don't see, we don't connect that result with that thought, right? There's something happen and we say, oh, it happened by chance. Nothing happened by chance. Everything happens for a reason, right?
Mm. Everything's connected, everything's so precise. There is no mistake in universe. There is no mistake in us. We're all perfect, but we have to see it from that perspective, whatever it is, because we're on a journey, we are on a learning journey. So we should be accepting where we are, and that when you were talking about that unintentional manifesting, because we're not here and now, we're not thinking, we're not physically, we're here, but mentally and being fully aware, because for whatever reason we're so trained to think of the past and always thinking about the future, what I'm going to do tomorrow, what I'm going to do next year, okay, great, but what you're doing right now is going to create tomorrow, going to create next month, going to create next year. And again, I'm truly so guilty of that,
It's
um
human. You don't have
it
to feel
is, it
guilty.
is, and accepting that, realizing that, then kind of bringing that awareness back and say, okay, even if we're aware, even just few minutes of the day, of the present moment, and showing appreciation and gratitude for it, but again, I know I always say habits, discipline, every day practicing that is going to, even unintentionally, it's going to do that. And that unintentional is going to make it more intentional as the time goes by. I don't know if I'm making any sense. So, as the time goes by, it is going to become intentional. And then it's just going to just play. And then that future you start to create is just unbelievable. And then you kind of sit back and it's like, wow, that's pretty cool that I just did that, right? So,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And it does, and it's so we are so powerful that we can change from that unintentional manifesting, unintentional thoughts, unintentional action that we take to intentional, as long as we are aware. We practice. We have to
yeah,
practice. We know that. The more you practice, the more you narrow the that field of unintentional manifesting, and you broaden the field of intentional manifesting, because we know that intentional is much powerful than unintentional. First, it just because it brings everything together. And the second thing, we don't want that or too much unintentional manifesting. Why is that? Because we can use, or we use, all kind of thoughts, all kind of you know feelings, all kind of emotions. Imagine that you want to manifest something and you are shivering, it's so cold, or you are uncomfortable. You will manifest something, but that's an unintentional
yeah,
manifesting, and it's an unintentional thought sent to the universe. And the universe, Jenny, from the Bible, it says, your wish is my command. And it does what knows the most.
yeah. I'll give you a perfect example. Yesterday on the flight, we got onto the flight, sat on the plane, and it was the middle row. We always get the window seats, but the flight was all full. So we get the middle. We're like, fine, it's 6 hours. Didn't realize it was 8 hours. So I'm like, oh boy, it's gonna be a long one. And it just,
There you go.
and And boy, did I manifest that. It sure was a long one.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
great, like a muscle that you exercise all the time. It's active. Yep. Once you stop the muscle being perfectly said, perfectly said, giving examples of being active. And how inactive physically I am realized when we were in Portugal walking up the hill and down the hill. And basically, it's just going up, 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 and climbing 5 flights of stairs. And I'm like, oh my God, by the third one, I'm like, I am out of shape. But by the third day, it's like, okay, I can do this because I was doing it 10 times a day. So my body got used to it. On to
obvious.
day three, I wasn't feeling it.
Exactly, yeah. And the same as our mind. Our
Absolutely.
mind gets used to,
Yeah.
and gets used to have that intent. As Corina said, it's like a muscle,
Yeah.
and that muscle, they say that, uh, well, you have to walk 20,000 steps a day or 10,000 steps a day, and the answer is, oh, I walk a lot at my work, but it's unintentional, and
Yeah.
that doesn't count, right? And it does. You
Yes.
can. I saw, and I keep seeing people that they jog with their earphones, listen to music, listen to something, go in the gym, the same thing. Listen, you have that's an unintentional workout, and you have to work out twice as much or 3 times as much because your muscles they don't listen to you. You just it's an inert an inertia that you are doing to your muscles, to your body, and say, oh, I work out 2 hours at the gym. No, you didn't. You listened to 2 hours to something else. Your mind was somewhere else, right? And
Oh my God, you said it so well. Yeah, yeah. Even the 10 minutes of intentional exercise can take you so far, whereas to 2 hours of unintentional, that's how powerful it is because you're connecting. You are focusing on it, you're focusing on your well-being instead of listening to the podcast. Everybody has their way, but again, this is just my thoughts and my humble opinion, as we say. So feel free to chime in and let us know your thoughts on this. I know it could be a little bit on the rough side where we could be touching some nerves here, but we're welcoming any and all comments, so please do share. It's just when you put intentions to it, I think it has more power in it. That's it. Simple as that. And
it
it
does.
works like
And
magic.
oh, thank you, Corina. It is a pleasure for us to try to understand a lot of things. Try to grow. Try to make things better for us. And we are talking about intentional and unintentional manifesting, and it is so. Maybe we don't stress enough that the we have to be aware and unintentional. And I know it's a paradox. How can you be aware of something that is unintentional and you are not aware? Um, but it comes with exercise. It comes with practice. It comes with increasing your awareness of intentional things. The more intentional we do, and don't get me wrong, this is a subjective matter. Everybody's it's unique. Everybody has um, own opinion, own experiences, and in general, sometimes for some people, they feel much more comfortable doing unintentional things, right? Oh, I didn't mean to do that, but it turned out well.
Right.
That's great. That's amazing. A lot of times, that unintentional thing, it turns out not that well. It's just because we mix the positive and negative. We don't control. We are not aware of the thoughts that we send to the universe. And when things happen, we we are not aware of them happening, and we continue we continue to do unintentional things. It's just because I don't believe in law of attraction. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not. It
That's,
happens. It
yeah,
works. It is generally,
yeah,
you know, present everywhere, anytime, even when we sleep.
yeah,
And the more intentional, the more aware, and the more uh, conscious and confident we are that that works, regardless of our will or willpower, the more we are better off,
yeah.
right?
When you tell your mind, I'm going to focus on being positive, and you're going to set intentions of the day. When you wake up or even in bed, you set intentions. Going to have a great day. Thank you for an amazing day. That's it. But again, putting those feelings out, saying it, even for a very long time, it might just be you're just verbally saying it. That's it. There might not be any emotions involved in it. But one day, I can guarantee you, if you say it long enough, you will have those emotions connected with it. And, then it just becomes like a second nature. And then that will become unintention, right? Unintentional positive thought, right? How
So
cool is that?
it is amazing, and you're right. When you sometimes when you wake up in the morning, you didn't have a very good sleep, or something happened, or had a dream, or whatever, and you don't feel like saying it's gonna be a good day. You feel like unintentionally, most of the time, you feel like, oh, again, I have to wake up, I have to work. But when you intentionally change your mind, and sometimes we fake it, but
Yes.
do it, fake it, but fake it from the negative to positive,
Yeah.
and change that until you make it.
Yeah.
And we, sure enough, after a while, you're right. It's our mind, as Corina said, like a muscle,
Yeah.
becomes aware and becomes, wait, even though it's unintentional, this is a bad thing to think about. And what about, let's turn around.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can make it intentionally positive, intentionally good, intentionally feeling that I'm comfortable and I feel good and I'm joyful and I look forward to a great day, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Instead of being focused on why this happened, focus on, oh, I wonder what the universe wants me to learn from this. You know? Yeah, yes, when you keep doing something either good or bad becomes your second way. Absolutely. 100%. And that can take us very far in life. But again, just got to chug along, got to keep, taking those steps forward. It does work, but again, have to have faith. You have to continue with the discipline is very important.
This is a very interesting thing because sometimes intentional, and I know people that without being aware, they intentionally have not so good thoughts or complaints or bad provisions, let's say. Oh, I know that they won't happen. I know that I cannot see how that would happen. And that's an intentional thing, that you move from unintentional negative thoughts into intentional negative thoughts. And that is very um, very bad, very um, let you down. You feel down and down. You feel uh, and becomes like a snowball effect.
Yes.
And we have to stop that right away. We have to be aware of that, and stop that right away, because the we're talking about intentional, and we know that uh, everybody in its core, it's a good person. And that intentional, we're talking about the positive intentional good thinking. And that's how we manifest things the best. That's how the universe responds to us in the best way. The unintentional thoughts, they are there, but we can be in control of if we know that, hey, I know that there are some thoughts that I don't want to come, or I don't want to send to the universe, but it will happen because it's an unintentional. It takes you by surprise.
Yeah.
Oh, I, how can I? I'm so good person. I'm so caring. I'm so positive. How how dare you to think that way, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But again, we have over 70,000 thoughts a day. We cannot control each and every one, but we shouldn't be feeding each and every thought. You know, like I always say, when you get them, you're like, oh, this is a good one. I'll kind of dwell on it. Nope, nope, no thanks, no thanks. Keep going. Goodbye, goodbye. But when we, again, do that enough times, again, the same thoughts are going to be repeated because it's like a screen. There's a big screen, and it's whatever we kind of watch, and it stays on that screen. So what is it going to be played back? Whatever we've seen. So
It's a timeline. It's
E ex
amazing. And
exactly. So
oh my
keeping that
god,
in mind, right? It's like if you're watching something, it's just going to be the same, even same negative thoughts. Well, why is it happening? Why is it happening? Well, change it. Change the channel. Watch something else and then feed your whole screen with those positive thoughts and affirmations and what you like, and put those energy. Then
out there.
after a while, that's what will be on a rerun. And then you'll be like, all right, I like this rerun. Okay, let's go with it.
Yes, as Corina said, the discipline it's a very important
Yeah.
tool that we can. Although there is a connotation, and maybe we talk about in the future, in the next one of the next lives, about the discipline. There is a negative connotation of discipline. Oh, when you talk about discipline, is like something.
Yes.
Um,
Like a
but yes,
physical punishment, or yes.
yeah, having a discipline of controlling your thoughts, and our thoughts shape our reality.
Reality.
It's a river, a small river of water that goes through a rock. Sooner or later, it shapes into
Yes.
that beautiful, beautiful form. We are already past
Oh my
our
gosh.
30 minutes mark.
Did
It
not
was
realize.
it was a joy um, talking about this subject. It is so good to discover, because we are discovering with every thoughts that we put in and we analyze it and everything, we discover new things that we can apply in our life. I want to thank you very much. Thank you, Uma, Corina. Thank you, everybody who's watching us. It was a real pleasure. And happy manifesting intentionally.
That's right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day manifesting. See you
Thank you.
all next week, God willing.
Enjoy
Bye
your
bye,
day.
everyone.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.